ceremony, and then the articulations of those things in such great, amazing, wonderful detail, as now all of the pieces had connected and come together as a beautiful web tapestry weaving of the amazing glory of all of my previous life that was seen to be the most worthless and terrible existence. That was actually the greatest of all blessings, and so I had the ability to love all of my frequencies entirely, everything authentically moving me to the most amazing subtlety within me. And we're really able to show that through these flows. And I have a ridiculous amount of embarrassment and judgment for the hardness it took me to get into my staff flow earlier today, but hey, that's the point of it. So the whole time, the thing that kept me in momentum was the knowing that what we're showing is the authentic rising of a channel, and that how we're growing, and how you can grow very rapidly through being able to stay in tune with the present moment. But you can see that not even me, somebody who's very amazing at the surrender to the flow, can do it without being fully present in the now moment with the breath. Otherwise, the systems just are not all the way there, and you have to be able to go fully into. And so, fully in could be slow, could be this, could be that. Whatever you're doing, you must be fully with it, in whatever momentum in which it brings. So, if you try to bring it to hard, you'll probably be too soft. If you try to bring it to soft, you'll probably be too hard. So, allow yourself to be however the moment arises, or the moment of your motion. This is how I would go into my motion previous, is I would just make my first movement, and that movement would be the movement that was followed. And I would follow that motion throughout all the other motions, and I wouldn't create stopping points for myself. I would allow myself a circular motion and a great fluidity with all of my body. And that was with kicking and all kinds of really amazing things. And at this time, I had no awareness of the possibility of hurting my legs through kicking at any moment, so I was able to kick all the time. I was just like a little kid or something, super fun. So at any moment, you probably would be already at this point too, a great, phenomenal ground, beginner's mind. You probably could step into it really amazingly too, and then only if you judge yourself would you ever be able to see the possibility of understanding the things that I've come into awareness. But it's that amazing tuning of contrast and awareness of contrast that has the ability to break through such amazing wisdom teachings through these amazing views, which is kind of like spelunking or like doing something crazy. Like, okay, guys, I'm going in, like a bungee jumper. So, like, okay, let's see what it looks like. Is he going to make it out alive? Maybe bungee jumping isn't the greatest thing, but, or spelunking, caving, I don't know, but, you know, it's like, shoot, I'm diving into the deep end again, guys. I hope I make it out this time. I found some great wisdom down there. Here you go. Of course, we could try to force this upon ourselves, but again, we talked about the realm of force and how it is actually not possible to really create great things from this motion of force. Though in some way, motion after great stagnation can feel like a force. And so it may be in some way necessary to bring ourselves through energies in a way that is quite momentous, monumental in force, or very huge amounts of expression sometimes. But we can always reach those things in the medicine ceremony through realms of subtlety, and then coming into the great realms of great expression. And that will bring some great ease to the transfer. And then other times we can just find other ways. Life does bring us all the authentic avenues in which we need. So there is really no need to transmit any of these things in some way, because people will realize themselves. They will be moved through consciousness, and they will receive the mirror reflections in which they can themselves personally articulate and understand in the level which is necessary for them and for all beings to be liberated to the highest and most optimal reality possible. No matter what any may think, we have all, many of us, great, amazing, realized workers with high expansions in subtle frequency, been working for the intention for many lifetimes, and will not ever end the intention for that to be the case. And so our manifesting capability at this time is quite huge and quite large for the entire collective. And we are manifesting constant for the highest benefit. And we will find that everybody within their heart feels that way as well. We are one, a quantumous being that loves all of itself very fully, very amazingly. very beneficially, very limitlessly. For the whole of us, all of us, collectively and individually. So, glad that we have been here talking for so very long together. Didn't know that we would be. Um, I guess that I expected that we would talk for so much longer, but now we have so much little storage space and so little capability of uploading due to our battery. It's just for me not a pressing matter to make the videos in a certain sense. Also, it was hurting my body. I was feeling like I was keeping myself in certain positionings and certain flows, and certain styles, and certain fashions. And right now, I'm like in a certain realm of like observational awareness to the entirety of my being right now, presently, in a way that's like, constantly coming back into like observation. Am I sounding right? Am I playing right? Am I moving correctly? Am I moving this way when I need to move this way with the motion? Am I moving this way? Am I moving that way? Are these the things that are occurring? Now, this sounds like an insane amount of persistent awareness to one's personal body focus. And I would agree that that's the case. And that it is an extreme level of insanity that brings one to the level of capability of reaching such a high level of sensitivity and precision with the fine tuning of the present moment. Um, does that mean that you have to reach this level of insanity to come into this realm of focus of subtlety? Absolutely not. That's why you got me, baby. That's why you have people like us. You know, there are other routes more effortlessly created, but it will not bring to the level of awareness the contrast existing within the being in which you're seeing previous, or that's brought you to that level of awareness. That being has a special chord shape that has to do with the amazing amounts of frequency it's determined through all of the many contrasting experiences. So you can reach a limitlessness and focus as well, but your route will be quite different, and your expression will also be specifically different, as your experiences will be specifically different. But that does not mean that you cannot help other beings reach their level of liberation and realization through your own. You will have realization. You have vast amounts of realization. And when you come into realization, full realization, that's when your learning really, 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 really begins. All the rest of your learning has already become, but none of that learning has been able to be applied aside from when direct experiences occurred. So now those experiences that apply to your direct experience, those have now become knowledges. And those are transmittable wisdoms, but we will have to be sure to make sure that we're specific with our wisdom and that we're not adding dogmas or our own personal viewpoints, that we're being very accurate and impeccable with our word. This will help our own consciousness clear itself. Otherwise, we'll be reaping the sowing of our own energy. Oh, you're lazy with yourself. You give things like this, you give things like this, you mislead, you confuse. Now you're misled, now you're confused. Okay, so all you must do then, bring yourself to a level of integrity, impeccability, and honesty, authenticity, that will allow you to reap the benefits of those rewards as well. And also being authentic with yourself. So that doesn't mean that you have to share everything with everybody. You can be authentic with who you are and where you are right now. Officer, I don't want to tell you what's in my glove box because I don't want you to arrest me. You can say that. And you can also say whatever else it is to keep yourself out of line of fire when it comes to the law or any other individual in the world, until a time in which you feel yourself personally safe. And that, I think, is a very beautiful thing, because for myself, I had nobody giving me these types of wisdoms, and nobody to try to force me out of my own realm of comfortability, so I had plenty of space to wait until I felt safe, to express the things I wish to feel safe, like the gaynesses and all the other things that I had not expressed about. Sure, you could say I had to express about those in the past. I was quite honest with myself, that was no problem. So, all I needed to do at that time was then eventually be able to express to others. And so I had plenty of things to clear and work with, and I waited to be able to express those till a time when I felt safe and comfortable in which to do so, and would still do so. And luckily for me, authentic expression has become such an amazing beauty that I'm able to do it always, constantly, and it's able to unlimit me always. But there was a time again when I very softly went into this for myself, and that was very helpful. You may find that going very deeply, quickly into it is rapidly accelerating and grounding and phenomenal and fantastic. And why listen to this old man and his slow ass wisdom? That's no problem. I don't give a shit. Whatever you want to do, that's cool. You know, that's the bomb. Whatever you personally authentically feel is your path and your route, do that thing. You know, and if you feel like it's your route over others and that doesn't feel good to you, find out what is your authentic feeling there, okay, bud? Because obviously you actually don't feel like getting over on others in order to succeed yourself. So that means there has to be another route that you would prefer. Maybe that's the fast route, but maybe there's another route. And maybe that route's actually the one that you wish for more, so it's actually more successful to you. And it promotes success in others. Maybe it doesn't bring to you a monetary abundance or whatever kind of abundance you may be seeking in the way that you might be seeking it, but it's definitely going to be seeking you something that you actually seek. Personally, actually, authentically yourself. So we just have to find a place of honesty with ourselves to find that place. Now, I've been wondering when we were going to begin doing energy flows for a while now. We've had a lot of different things to discuss and to say. I guess we haven't spoken for a while. So there's a lot of things to bring us all up to date with where we are, how we feel, the embarrassing energies, the doubt, the contraction of this, the contraction of that. I would love to speed us up, jump us over here and do this and do that, whatever it is. But here we are doing this. And maybe that's another thing when it comes to the realm of acceptance. We want to do this, but we're stuck doing this. Maybe we would be able to do that if we accepted doing this. Anyways. She just smiled, which made me think to myself that she has not been accepting doing this. Because I was just thinking to myself, I fucking have been totally accepting this the whole time. But she smiled in such a way to make me think she might not have been accepting it. And to think that I would be somehow governed by her reality right now would make me think, what a jerk I am. But luckily for me, I was in such an acceptance of where I was that there's no reason to have that kind of a dialogue as if something has ever been against me for any reason. Like we had some specific intention on each other. No, absolutely not. So, but that would be cool. Reflection, though. Was that what's going on? Wow, that's interesting. Well, we assumed that could be what's going on. I said, was it going on? We made this absolute determination. But we don't know that's what's going on. It's a possibility, as I have seen the law of impermanence to quite work well this way with myself and other individuals around me as well, and that we've been able to usually directly notice it because I can articulate about it so we can both see it. So they might as well just bring the direct experience for it because we can bring the awareness to it and then we can both gain a great teaching. The world's about providing teachings, about providing learning. So if we have a clear channel for that, the world's going to promote sending the things for that. And even though we may think that, oh, we created it now, so now it has to make something come to us, actually, this was created forever ago and hasn't been created yet, and all of these different things. So don't worry about that. We're actually just completely in balance with everything. So if something just came up, showed up, it's because you guys were both set into motion from the beginning of time to be there at that moment. That sounds like we have no free will, and that sounds like you have fear that you're being controlled by something. But don't worry, you're the only thing that's here, and you as everything. And now that may make you feel like a less when you're saying you're an ego identity, a body, a person that's trying to succeed their personal self. But eventually you'll see how great and glorious and phenomenal your being is, and so there's really just no reason to hold on to any kind of finite and limited cord shape. There's no reason to get over on anybody. There's no reason to have your status fulfilled. There's no reason to be proven in this way or that way. There's no reason to succeed, revenge for any peoples. There's no reason for all of this shit. There's just no reason. You just let it all go. All information entirely could be let go of, and you could still present yourself intellectually, intelligently in every moment you're ever in without ever observing yourself past the syllable you're in currently to ever know the entire sentence-tree of whatever it is that you happen to be saying. Now that's absolutely insane, I understand. But you could be fully there in such a manner to where nobody would ever be the wiser, no matter where they were, no matter the world you were ever to enter. Now that sounds absolutely insane, I'm sure. But that's how amazing consciousness is, because that is literally what pure awareness is right now doing. It enters into a place and it immediately envelops the story of that place. It enters into another place, it immediately envelops the story of that place. And it does that through every time, through every existence, through every experience, and every moment that ever is. Now that's insane. That's freaking insane. It is doing that right now. It's talking to you through me. It's listening to me through you. It's doing all of these insane things. It's coming through us as this camera, through this device, this internet web created by man, through all of these different things, these different ways, because of this motion and that motion, these stars, this galaxy, that black hole, this subatomic particle, that quantum reality, that interdimensional existence, this frequency, this vibration, this sound, this energy, everything entirely, low, high, above, below, within, without. Oh my God. It really is quite phenomenal. Yeah. Expression is really phenomenal and key. You know, sometimes we have those parts where we have great fear and depression and anxiety and shame, and so it can keep us away from doing something. Like I was staying away from doing the camera thing for a while because I was like, oh, who is my flow going to be a good teaching? And I was like, well, let me think of things that I could teach about. Well, we didn't talk about any of those things yet, but eventually we will, because I have talked about one of them. That's why they came up, because I was like, okay, those are the informations I have available to me, the things that were prompted to come up previously. Talk about those things. But instead, I had to just exist. And I tried to bring my voice in powerful and didn't work, and then my voice was all shitty and terrible, but now it's balancing again. And so somehow I was sounding in a way that caused my voice to go higher than what it's supposed to, which actually made it lower, but then it actually made it have to be lower in order to come back to a place of centering and balance. And this is an amazing way in which to discuss the attack and defense, the low and high, the above and below, the within and without, the male and the female, the yin and the yang, the verses, mentalities, the dualities, the polarities, the reverberations of frequencies going from left to right, from the side to side, from the center line, and then how to come back to the center line through the realm of acceptance of self from wherever self is, and then coming back to center. So we talked previously about the bouncing, and then eventually that bouncing does settle. You just have to allow the bouncing, and every time the bouncing happens, you don't create a greater bouncing, you provide more space. And you just keep providing more space. You provide more space. You provide more space. And you just keep accepting it more, and accepting it more, and accepting it more, until finally we're not even unsure where the other thing is. There's just so much acceptance. And so that acceptance is so much there into the center of your frequency to where now that is the center, in such a way to where the center is completely easily maintained and realized all on its own. So you wonder if you did anything at all. But as you replay the entire dramatization of what had occurred previous, and you see it more than one time, so you're given greater perspective, you can come to forms of articulation which describe it. And originally, you'll have a very impeccable articulation if you're at this realm of understanding and awareness. But still, being that you're at a realm of intelligence, you'll wait till a full image presents itself, knowing that a full image does present itself when waited upon. That is the completion and the fullness of cycles, and that is something that we talked about previously, about trusting the flow. If you can begin the cycle and end the cycle at the first time, it's the same thing as if you went fully into something, knowing that it was going to work out, and it, of course, working out, you know. So, whoa, how in the fuck did that happen? Like, falling into a direction. So that's the completion of cycles. Previously, Miss Ray had a cycle teaching, where I was able to teach her how to complete cycles. And we were learning this through the staff throw, through the movement of momentum, the movement of breath, through the movement of curvature. And she was able to learn this through her dream last night, which was able to then integrate into our reality today through our own personal body flows, which led me to wish to do a flow with her on the camera in front of you all. because this flow that we did previously would have been so gorgeous for you to see, and the song that I sang to her, but it was kind of sexual and beautifully intimate and romantic and gorgeous in nature. Not simply sexual, though. It was like the greatest lover, you know. It was very, very, very beautiful. And I was very, very, very enamored, very taken by the great beauty of its phenomenal frequency. Like we were in a movie or something, you know, like, my God. And all the amazing energies, powerful expressions, unisons, and harmonies with each other in love and equal respect for each other. And then it led into this beautiful motion and hand harmony that brought balancing and beautiful understanding to our frequencies, beautiful fluidity to the completion of channelings and cyclings that I believed was part of the integration and fruition of that teaching that came to her in her dream. And also, you know, fruitions to many things that we've been talking about, expressing about, and learning about previously and now today. So I was hoping to bring you into a motion with that to continue along the channel of progression that I and Ray, myself, are having at this time. We actually might have to switch to the other camera. She's plugged in the battery. Did you know how much battery we have left?
Just in case.
But if you check, won't it kill it?
Yeah, there's like a subtle way to do it though.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, okay, well, maybe we could just do, I want to do it, but for some reason I'm not moving right now is my problem. Like,
Oh yeah, it's at 23%.
oh, okay, we got plenty. That's perfect. 4% left on that, 23%, and 4% on that's actually more than what we might think on a battery charger typically. For some reason, it's a pretty interesting battery charger, and it's quite cold too, so I might not put on that jacket. Did you take all the stuff off that jacket?
Most of it.
Wow, you're the
There's
sweetest.
still like some little pieces that I couldn't get if I sat with it for a while.
Do you want to hand me the blue sweater? Do you remember where that is? If you don't remember, it's no big deal. But it'd be better to have something more tight to do this motion with, so we don't get caught up on any loose-fitting garments. I mean, it would obviously be better if we were naked, but it's getting a little chilly, which is kind of funny because we're like in Maui and we were just in Sedona. But you know, you saw how much clothes I was wearing there. I mean, other people might not have been wearing as much clothes as me. It was pretty chilly. Snow pants on, you know. I have not worn my snow pants aside from when I first arrived. I don't think. Did I even wear my snow pants here? Oh, I don't think so. I might not have worn my snow pants at all here. So there we go. I don't mind though. If we go up to Makawao and sleep in the forest there, we'll need the snow pants, but it'll be great and really beautiful. But the supplies is the problem for us, you know. Carrying all the food that we need. We might just want to get rid of some of our warm weather stuff, but gosh, I just want to go back to the mainland right now. No, I'm kidding. It's nice here. We haven't ever discussed going back to the mainland. I mean, it's completely ridiculous. We're going to be here for at least 4 months. Hopefully in this bush. And other beautiful places to travel, of course. And check out the island. But as I told her before, it's not a very big island, so we'll, you know, need somewhere to be chill. And this has just been so great. I mean, have you guys seen our house? We got these 2 blankets, this tarp thing for just in case it rains. It only rained 1 time, apparently. And then little sprinkles. It's supposed to be a high surf warning right now. They sound like they're the smallest waves they've been. But tonight, we might get washed away, so we're going to have to move our tents wraps into this little field right here so that we don't like get washed away, I guess. I guess our blankets will actually be fine. We don't have to take the blankets down. They'll just like chill up there all by themselves. I mean, this blanket probably would be cool too. I mean, it's not like it's doing anything. I mean, if it got wet, it'd just get dry the next day in the sun. It's hot here. Kind of interesting. I mean, but I kind of don't want to leave the blanket up in a certain sense in that way. Like, what if somebody comes and sleeps in here that night and then the surf doesn't come in, you know, and they take our canopy? It's kind of like a cherry spot, you know. The best spot on Maui right now, how I feel. I mean, for me, I mean, other people like other spots, but super. Oh no. Okay. Well, let's, I guess, do the show on the road after we drink some water. You know, we don't want to get too dehydrated. Have a tiny woman beat us, you know. We're competing right now. Rah, no, I'm kidding. I will say, though, it's going to be very hard to repeat the amazing beauty that was earlier, but we're going to have a new beauty. So, there's a time recently we did a video with her. We kind of went into her kind of more quickly.